I'm Ron, and I tell you real-life stories. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, and share the video. And now, let's get started. Urban legends are made-up stories that feel like they could really happen. A lot of them are kind of spooky or meant to scare people a little. Most of these legends are just made up by someone, but some are actually based on true events. And today, I'm going to tell you 6 urban legends that were inspired by real-life stories. Let's start with the first one, the legend about poisoned Halloween candy. This story is based on something that really happened back in 1974. There was a man named Ronald Clark O'Brien. He had a young son and a young daughter. On October 31st, Halloween night, Ronald took his kids out trick-or-treating, just like any normal family. They lived in Pasadena, Texas, and that night they went to a bunch of houses to get candy. Ronald wasn't just with his own kids, he was also with 3 other children. At one point, they came to a house. The kids rang the doorbell and knocked, but no one answered. So Ronald told the kids, you go ahead to the next house, I'll wait here and see if anyone comes. The kids left, and just a moment later, the door of that house opened. Someone stuck out a hand without saying a word and gave Ronald 5 pieces of candy, specifically 5 pixie sticks. And that seemed a little weird, but Ronald took the candy and caught up with the kids. Pixie sticks are just regular powdered candy in a straw-like tube. Nothing strange at first glance. That night, after they got home with lots of candy, something horrible happened. Ronald's son ate one of the pixie sticks, and very soon after, he started vomiting and then began convulsing. Ronald rushed him to the hospital, but it was too late. His son passed away. Police started investigating immediately. It turned out the boy had been poisoned with a deadly chemical called potassium cyanide, or KCN. And the cyanide was inside the pixie sticks he had eaten. Since that was the only candy the boy had eaten, police asked Ronald if he remembered which house the pixie sticks came from. At first, he couldn't remember, then later, he said he remembered and took the police to that house. But when they talked to the man who lived there, he said he wasn't home at all on Halloween. He had been working all night, and his co-workers confirmed it. He also said his house was locked the entire evening. That's when police started to suspect Ronald himself. And soon they discovered something shocking. Ronald was deep in debt, and he had recently bought life insurance for both of his children. If one of his kids died, he would get a large payout from the insurance company, even more money than he had spent on the policies. He wasn't just planning to hurt his own son. He had given those pixie sticks to 5 kids, including his daughter and 3 others. The idea was, if more than one child got poisoned, people wouldn't suspect him. Luckily, none of the other children ate the candy. Only his son did. It turned out Ronald had poisoned the candy himself. He had brought the pixie sticks from home, put cyanide in them, and handed them out, then lied to the police, saying a stranger had given them to him. In the end, Ronald was found guilty and sentenced to death, but the fear didn't stop there. In 1982 in Chicago, a young woman went to the hospital feeling sick. She died shortly after. Then 6 more people, all from the same area, got sick and also died. Police found one thing in common. They had all taken Tylenol, a popular over-the-counter pain and fever medicine. When they tested the pills, they found cyanide inside. Someone had tampered with the Tylenol bottles, but the person responsible was never caught. After both of these tragic cases, Ronald's poisoned candy and the Tylenol poisonings, people became terrified about Halloween. Every year, parents started to worry. What if the candy is poisoned? And that fear became so common, it turned into an urban legend itself. Even though it rarely, almost never, happens, the idea is so scary and believable that people still talk about it today. Story number 2 is about something called Palibius, and it connects to a real government experiment that happened between 1953 and 1973. During that time, the CIA ran a huge experiment on many people, including prisoners, psychiatric patients, everyday citizens, and even some of their own employees. All of these people were secretly given a powerful drug called LSD. It's a hallucinogenic drug that causes people to see, feel, and think strange things. It also greatly increases emotions. The test subjects were often placed in one-way mirror rooms. Once the drug kicked in, the CIA would ask them questions, watch their behavior, and test other methods like hypnosis, electric shocks, and different drugs. The goal? The CIA wanted to create a drug or method that would make people tell the full truth, something that could be used to get confessions or secret information more easily. They also wanted to develop a drug that could erase someone's memory and then reprogram their mind, like resetting a human brain to control it. If this sounds familiar, that's because the experiment had a name, MK Ultra. It was one of the most infamous secret projects in US history. MK Ultra officially ended in 1973 and most of the documents were destroyed, but a few survived, and that's how we know it was real. And this is where the urban legend of Palibius begins. In 1981, in Portland, Oregon, video arcades were becoming super popular. One day, a new arcade game machine appeared in one shop. It was called Palibius, and it was very different. Anyone who played it quickly became addicted. The game's screen just said Palibius, but no one really knew what the game looked like or how it worked. And here's the creepy part. After someone finished playing, men in black suits would show up to collect data from the machine. Players of Palibius reportedly experienced insomnia, hallucinations, and nightmares after playing. This led some people to start investigating the machine. The only clue they found was a strange word on the screen. Sinneslöschen, which looks like a German word. It's a made-up combination of two German words. Sinnes, meaning senses. Löschen, meaning to delete or erase. Put together, it means erase the senses. A game that erases your senses causes sleep problems and hallucinations. It sounded a lot like MK Ultra, so some people began to believe that MK Ultra never really ended. It just went underground, and Palibius was one of the secret tools they used to test on people. But as more people looked into it, they realized there was no proof any arcade ever had a machine called Palibius. And Sinneslöschen isn't even proper German. It sounds like something made up by someone who doesn't really speak the language. So in the end, Palibius is just an urban legend. If you search online, you might see pictures of the game cabinet, but they're fake, created later by fans who were fascinated by the story. Still, the mystery of Palibius lives on. Story number 3 is about the Inunnaki Tunnel in Japan. This is a real tunnel, and it's quite a famous location connected to the following story. In 1988, a man was parking his car near a road when he was approached by a group of 5 young men who wanted to steal his car. Somehow, they tricked the man into getting out of the car, then pulled him away and started beating him up, simply because they didn't like him. Eventually, they shoved him into the trunk of his own car, stole the vehicle, and drove off. Later on, the man managed to escape, but unfortunately the group spotted him again and chased after him. Because he was already badly injured, he couldn't run fast enough and was caught again. The group then drove to a tunnel, the Inunnaki Tunnel, and pulled the man out. At that point, they realized, if we let him go, he'll tell the police. Even though the man promised he wouldn't, they decided to kill him anyway. They poured gasoline on him and set him on fire, then drove away, leaving him there. The man died right there in the tunnel. After that, people started saying that if you go near Inunnaki Tunnel, you might hear screaming or even see ghosts, but that's not the only legend connected to the area. There's another urban legend about something near the tunnel, a place called Inunnaki Village. People say that if you go through the tunnel, you might find a mysterious village called Inunnaki Village. But in reality, this village doesn't exist. All the photos you see online are just illustrations or recreations. The story goes like this. A couple was driving near the tunnel when their car broke down. With no other option, they went looking for help. They decided to walk through the tunnel, and after a while, they saw a sign that said, "Japanese law does not apply here." They thought that was weird, but didn't really take it seriously and kept going. Eventually, they reached a village that seemed abandoned, but then a man appeared and started talking to them. Though the couple couldn't understand what he was saying, suddenly a group of villagers came from behind carrying sickles, and then they attacked and killed the couple. Some versions of the legend even claim the villagers ate them, but no one knows why. Now, to be clear, this part of the story is clearly an urban legend, because if a place really had a sign that said, "Laws don't apply here," there would be chaos and crimes would happen constantly. That kind of place couldn't exist, and besides, Inunnaki village was never real to begin with. So yes, the village story is fictional, but it's interesting because two different stories are tied to the same place. One is a true crime, the murder in the tunnel. The other is a spooky urban legend. Either way, the Inunnaki Tunnel has definitely earned its creepy reputation. And that's the end of part 1 of our 6 urban legends. Make sure to stay tuned for the next part. It's coming soon. For now, goodbye everyone, and thanks for watching.